In an interview with The New Yorker that came out this week, Rudy Giuliani says that he is worried that his whole legacy is going to be summed up by one sentence. And that one sentence is, he lied for Trump. Giuliani got to the point in the interview where he said he's actually worried that's going to be on his gravestone. He lied for Trump. Let me read what Giuliani said. I am afraid it will be on my gravestone. Rudy Giuliani, he lied for Trump. Somehow I don't think that will be it, but if it is, so what do I care? I'll be dead. I figure I can explain it to St. Peter. He will be on my side, because I am, so far, I don't think, as a lawyer, I ever said anything that's untruthful. I have a sense of ethics that is as high as anybody you can imagine. As high as anybody you can imagine. I've been doing this forever. I am doing what I believe in. I may not always be right, but I am doing what I believe. So you say that you haven't done anything untruthful, and then just a couple sentences later, you're like, look, I may not even be right. But if you haven't been untruthful, then how could you be wrong? Right? Doesn't that make sense, Rudy? I'm sure if you actually sat and thought about what you were going to say, you'd understand it. But let me tell you, dude, you are right about your legacy. This is something I've been talking about for over a year now. You had the chance to really go out on top, right? But you still craved that power. You wanted to be the Attorney General of the United States. You were not content simply being called America's mayor. And some of the younger folks in the audience, they don't even know what that means. But there was a time in this country when Rudy Giuliani was a national hero. There was a time when he was one of the most revered politicians in the United States. And that time, of course, was when he was mayor of New York City on 9/11. International newspapers came over here to do interviews with him. His face was plastered across media all over the globe. He had more goodwill. All the bad things he had done as mayor were forgotten about. Everybody loved Rudy. And then, of course, his term was over. Then they got Bloomberg and life went on. But all Giuliani had to do at that point was nothing. He did, of course, run for president in 2008. It did not go well for him. All he did was want to talk about 9/11, and people realized, wow, okay, this guy really has nothing else to talk about. And then 8 years later, he cast his lot in with Donald Trump, and the rest is history. I mean, even after your failed presidential run, Rudy, you could have bowed out gracefully. You have still been a beloved hero, not as beloved as before, because you did squander a lot of goodwill, but you squandered the rest of it when you went in with Trump. Nobody cares about what you did on 9/11 anymore. In fact, a lot of people started to look back on it and say, well, technically, did he do anything? He's not the hero of the day. That's the first responders. He lost it all because he decided to be joined at the hip with Donald Trump, a man who won't even return his phone calls now. And he's still out there lying for him every day. So yes, Rudy, you should be worried about what your gravestone is going to say. And you're right. It should say he lied for Trump. Because that is your legacy. That is all you have left. And even though you clearly do realize that, you still seem to want to keep doing it every single day. Thanks for watching, and if you like what you saw, don't forget to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to our Ring of Fire channel here.